It's a good AGam in Kansas morning. Good morning. Let's take a look and see what's coming up today. First, Ken McCauley explains the importance of Atrazine, the most studied and some say the most important herbicide used today. Next, two vet med students at K-State tell us about their Student AABP chapter. Then Dr. Chris Blevins and Dr. Beth Davis talk about the new Equine CT Table at K-State. And we learn about the recipe for success from one cattle operation that targets both profit and quality. We'll end with a story about Inzen, the new ALS-resistant sorghum. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. AGam in Kansas, brought to you in part by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Atrazine recently seems to be under some fire from the EPA. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it seems like the EPA has decided that all the studies that we've done for the past 40 years don't matter, so they want to study it again. And Atrazine is the most studied herbicide that's ever been made. And the studies have never changed. They've always shown the same thing. So the way I look at it is they just are continually looking under every rock to see what they missed. And we continually provide all those things for them to come back and say, oh, I guess you were right. Mm-hmm. But as far as what happens on our farm, Atrazine is probably one of the most important things we use today. It enhances every other corn herbicide that we use. It makes it more valuable, it makes it more potent, it helps us use less of everything else. When you go back to 1960, when I remember using Atrazine, when Dad started using it, we used a lot of it because there wasn't anything else. And as the things change, we ended up using less and less and less. And today we're using it in a micro fashion to where we put on some in the fall, we put on some in the spring, and we watch every little bit that we use. We monitor it constantly. Mm-hmm. And that's why I feel we can continue to use it, because we aren't using it in the same fashion. We're using precision technology to take care of all those things. There's not any of it leaving. If you look at our no-till fields, mm-hmm. all that stays in place. It helps us stay profitable, where we wouldn't be able to stay as profitable with the new technology. We need the new technology herbicides, but Atrazine enhances them too. So when you look at the big picture, the EPA has opened the door for everybody to say, we want to do it again. And I think it's just pure ridiculous that they can do that. But when you look at the government as a whole, they continue to look under every rock for everything else. So I guess they figure farmers are fair game also.
Sure. If Atrazine was no longer available, what would that mean for farmers?
Well, I think, we're in a low profit situation today. This would just add one more expense to what we do and actually have less effect on the weeds. So when you look at it, you're going to have to pay more and get less results. Back in the 80s, we quit using Atrazine because we thought there was other ways to do it. And it was a wreck. We had different kind of weeds show up because it was suppressing and keeping weeds out that we had no idea we even had. So we immediately went back the other way and started using it in the new modern ways. We've adapted since the 80s to use less and less, keep our soil balanced, use all those things, and actually we're better off for it. So when you look at what's happening today and what could happen, it could be a giant step backward and actually be less productive on the farm, less productive to feed all of our customers around the world, and actually raise cost of corn, cost of feed, cost of everything, and lower the profits in the meantime. So it would be a negative all the way around.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com. Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
AGam in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
My name is Bobbi Shanks, and I am a current third-year veterinary student at Kansas State University in the College of Vet Med. And I am originally from Columbus, Kansas, which is in the southeast corner of the state. I've always been a K-State fan growing up. We've had a lot of family go through here, both through undergrad and through Vet Med as well. And so it's a great school. They have a really great cattle background, and they have great faculty up here. And so that was kind of the reason that pulled me in, and the reason that I stayed with my Kansas roots and have been up here for 7 years now.
I'm Taylor Nikkel, and I'm a second year here at the Kansas State University College of Vet Med. I only did part of my undergrad here at Kansas State. I did 2 years at Cloud County Community College before transferring here to Kansas State to do my undergrad. I did a year of undergrad here before I got into the Vet Med program, and I am the fundraiser chair for the student chapter of AABP.
So our student AABP chapter is really involved here at K-State. We do a lot of different activities throughout the year for our students.
We do a lot of wet labs, which are a lot of hands-on activities here. We normally have a necropsy lab where we bring in animals that have issues, and we try to run diagnostics on them and figure out exactly what's wrong, and gets us kind of a hands-on experience on how to actually do a correct necropsy and what clinicians want here at the college, as well as how to do it out in the practice later on. It also teaches us the diagnostic tools that we run, and it gives us kind of an early transition on how to read those, how to go about those, and what the next step would be.
And then we bring in some really good speakers from across the country and from within the state that we hopefully give a wider view of actual practical experience for when we get out and get ready to either apply for positions, whether we're looking to buy into practices, and just for some more technical skills that we might not be able to get here just based on time. And so hopefully we get a wide variety of experiences while we're here.
That's something that's really important, because even though you're in the student chapter of AABP and you're in the club, not everybody has that experience and background of actually before going out and talking to producers and know how to communicate with them. And by having that extra little time to learn how to do that and how to go and communicate with other clients is very important, especially in the ag industry. You know, a lot of people don't know how to communicate very well, and that's one of the most important things about being a veterinarian, is being able to communicate with your clients.
After graduation, my goal would be to become employed in a clinic that does a lot of primarily cow-calf work. That's a lot of my background, and I really enjoy it. I've done some stocker work recently as well, and I enjoy that as well. But cow-calf would kind of be the ultimate goal. Possibly a mixed practice if that's the situation that arises, but anything that I could really do some large animal and some field service work would be great.
Once I graduate my veterinarian degree, I would like to work in a mixed animal practice. I really enjoy working on cattle. It's one of my favorite things, but I also enjoy the smaller animals as well, and so I feel like a mixed practice would be able to fulfill both those.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Hello and welcome to Horsing Around. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center, today with Dr. Beth Davis. Welcome.
Thank you.
Dr. Davis is a professor and a section head here in equine at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. And today we're going to talk about something fairly exciting for here in the equine section, and that's a CT table for horses. What is a CT table for horses? Because some people will be like, well, you know, it looks kind of neat. They might recognize it in their own hospital. But.
Right, yeah, that's a great question. And so we think about CT and advanced imaging capabilities, and most of the instruments that are available are designed for people, understandably. So it's easy to adapt those instruments for use in small animal patients. But when we work with our equine patients, unfortunately, we can be a little bit limited. And so we're very fortunate that there is an equine CT table available. So we recently acquired ours, and so it's right behind us, and it is adapted to the small animal table, but it fits over it, and it allows us to get the same kind of images that we could get if we were looking at a person or a small animal patient.
This is a big thing, and some people may not know about that aspect until you actually have potentially a horse that maybe would need to be used for it. And what kind of things could a horse get imaged for on this CT table?
Yeah, that's a good point as well. And so we think about it for things that we might start with radiographs, or conventionally we may have taken x-rays, but it allows us to get really nice images of the head, of dental structures, horses that have sinus disease, but we can also look at limbs, so at extremities. So we can look at the lower limb, we can get on the front leg up to the carpus, or the knee, as some horse owners call it, or up to the hock on the back leg. So really good for distal extremities as well.
And the amount of detail that they get from this is just phenomenal. I think from an imaging, diagnostic, and potentially doing other treatments using CT. What would be, I guess, some images that they could get or extrapolate from using this type of table?
Yeah, so the imaging, the quality is incredible. This is a 16 slice CT, so we can get really finite detail on the structures. The other capability is that we can do what's called 3D reconstruction. So we can take what would normally look like a 2D image and actually put all of the images that have been collected together to get 3D imaging, so essentially to make a model of the patient that we're looking at. And what that allows us to do is then to go in and perform different procedures or therapies, maybe an injection, maybe a repair of a fracture. And this ability to image with this machine allows us to do that at a much higher level.
Higher quality medicine, better thing for the patient themselves and for that client. This table wasn't inexpensive by no means, and I guess some people don't realize the aspects of, well, we just bought it. Well, what did the vet school or veterinary health center have to do to get this table?
Right. It was a team effort for sure. So we are very fortunate to have support from the hospital, from the College of Veterinary Medicine, but also from horse owners and horse enthusiasts in the state of Kansas. And so we had a group of people approximately 2 years ago that helped us put together a fundraiser. And that fundraising event, we are so appreciative of all the people that helped us with that, because that's in large part what allowed us to get this Equine CT table. It was a huge effort and a huge success.
Well, we sure appreciate all the support from everybody around, that is for sure. And so owners might say, hey, I think my horse may need to use this table, or maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't, and come through a referral or even come in here at the hospital. How would that all entail as far as if a horse needed to use a CT table?
Right, exactly. So we want to start at square one. So starting usually with either your veterinarian at home or coming to the vet school and having your horse evaluated, determining what sort of testing needs to be performed, and then decide whether or not a CT is appropriate. But absolutely, we welcome the opportunity to work with veterinarians and horse owners throughout the state to provide them with advanced imaging that we now have.
That is great. Well, if they ever want to know more information about the CT table or Dr. Davis or myself or anything here at the Veterinary Health Center, you can sure go to our website at www.vets.k-state.edu and go to the Veterinary Health Center, and they can learn more information about all this information and great diagnostics we have here at the vet school. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins with Horsing Around, and we'll see you around.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it, and it worked. And I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
It's all about the environment and every other detail that comes into play when targeting profit and quality beef. For an Alabama father-son duo, that means pleasing not only their next customer, but beef consumers as well.
Some people don't want to admit that they know anything about beef after the calf jumps off the trailer. But, we've always tried to follow and look at the cuts of beef and talk with people and see what is working and what's not working. And
Jimmy and Jim Collins aren't just cow people, but people to boot. Their combined experience taught them to listen and apply what they learned to the cattle they produce.
We don't have a market without strong consumer demand. And we realize too that focusing on balanced maternal traits, focusing on cattle that that have the ability to convert, and then looking at the tools we have, genetic evaluation tools we have, to be sure while we're focusing first on those maternal traits that work in this environment, being sure those calves go and work in the feed yard.
Early days focused on building the herd. Since then, it's about keeping it relevant.
While other operations have gone in, focused on, F1 or crossbred females by staying with the straight Angus, but putting aggressive effort into watching our bloodlines very closely, trying to outcross or have use lines that complement each other very well. That has given us the most flexibility for our commercial female customers.
Their balanced program doesn't chase outliers. It does, however, strive to be better year after year.
It's a matter of surviving, really and truly. I mean, you've got to stay productive, and you can do what you want, but it better be productive and work for you and the folks that are going to be using the end product.
Collins Farms was recently recognized as the 2015 CAB Commercial Commitment to Excellence Award winner. I'm Bob Cervera.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Some new technology that is on the verge of registration, okay, and that is the ALS-resistant grain sorghum. Inzen sorghum is the brand name that DuPont has applied to this sorghum. And what we're after with this technology is to be able to come in on this special sorghum and use an herbicide post-emergence that will provide grass control. And that is new technology. We have not been able to do that. The chemistry that we're waiting for registration is called Zest. That will be the post-emergence product. They also have a product that we'll use in this sorghum pre-emergence called Leadoff. Both of those have grass activity, but Zest is the one that's most exciting because it is a post-emergence product. We've looked at this for a number of years. If one of the problems that we always have or can have in grain sorghum is grasses. And if we do have grasses that come through, previously we have not had the opportunity to be able to manage those. And so by being able to come in and spray grasses post-emergence, in fact, we hopefully will be able to clean things up. Inzen sorghum and Zest, I think it is just another tool that we can use in certain situations to try to manage annual grasses. We're still going to want to use pre-emergence products. Sometimes we don't get a rain to activate that pre, so we get some grasses coming up. That'll allow us to come in and spray the Zest to control the annual grasses. EPA says they're next in the docket. So hopefully we will have that registration before the year ends, and next spring maybe there will be some limited release of varieties and the technology.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. To see this show and past episodes of AGam in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.